Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Breer, and welcome to episode 51 of the 11FS FinTech Insider Breakfast Show. In this show, we bring you the best and the brightest from around the fintech and banking landscape every single weekday straight into your homes at 8:30 BST, here live on LinkedIn. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Cindy White, who is the Vice President of Global Marketing at Mitek, and Andy Moore, who is the Design Director at Anna Money. This morning, what we're going to be doing is talking about how Anna Money is helping the wave, really, of people considering self-employment and freelancing, and what really digital identity verification can do to aid that transition and aid that work. So, I mean, good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Andy. It's not really morning for both of you. So good morning, Andy, and nearly good night, Cindy.
Definitely morning for me. Good morning, David. Thanks a lot for having me.
Early morning for me. Very early morning for me. So
well, literally, it's just ticked over to sort of midnight, isn't it, where you are, Cindy?
Correct. Yeah, just after midnight.
For everybody's benefit, let us know where you're dialing in from this morning.
So I'm dialing in from San Diego, California, which is the head office city for Mitek Systems. And really great to be with you. It's still morning, just earlier than you guys.
There's also somebody who's got to go one better, Andy, isn't there? Hey, hello. But
I'm afraid so. All I can offer is a cloudy day in Sussex. But at least it's a nice place to be.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the effort anyway. But thank you so much for joining us, guys. As always, people, if you're watching this over on LinkedIn, then leave a comment in the sidebar. If you've got any comments for either Cindy or Andy with what Anna Money or what Mitek are doing, drop it in the comments bar. We'll weave it into the conversation, and away we go. So, I mean, what would be great to do, I think, to sort of get us going. I mean, Anna Money and Mitek, obviously quite different companies, but it would be probably good to start with a bit of an overview of what you guys do, just so if people don't know who you are and where you're at. So maybe, Andy, if we start with you.
Start with Anna. Yeah, sure.
Give us a bit of a background with Anna and actually what's the origin story is, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that don't know, Anna stands for Absolutely No Nonsense Admin. So really, Anna was set up as an app and a service specifically targeting SMBs. So the whole point of Anna is to create a service which includes basically a business account and business admin. So really thinking about bookkeeping, invoicing, and banking all in one app. But the principle is really that we see that admin is a pain. We've all been there. You know, we're a company which is made up of people who have freelanced, own their own businesses, and so on. And so we recognize that admin is something which actually gets in the way of people doing what they really love. And if you've taken the time to set up your own business as a sole trader, a limited company, then actually our mission is to make sure that you can grow as a business and focus on the stuff that really matters. And we'll take care of the sort of the small stuff. So put simply, the product really consists of a business account. We also look at putting all of your banking in one place. So with open banking, we kind of put everything that you do from a banking point of view. You can receive payments, you can create invoices, you can do your expenses, and we're doing basic bookkeeping and tax calculations now as well. But I would say the one thing that really makes Anna stand out, aside from the brand, which I think gets a lot of attention for its quirkiness and creativity, but certainly it appeals to a lot of our customers and kind of what they do. But the big sort of differentiator, I suppose, is the fact that the kind of the core interaction in the app is chat. So the idea is that chat and assistance is a sort of window into your business, and we manage that with a bot. But more importantly, we have a great team in Cardiff who are on the end of that chat. So very, very quickly, as our customers find out, you're often talking to a real person. So yeah, so that's Anna, I guess, in a nutshell.
Well, as you say, I mean, nobody starts a business to do banking and do admin, do they? They start a business for the thing that they're really passionate about doing. And what I love is, you guys really sort of commit to taking as much of that noise away from people as you can do to allow them to really focus on the thing that they're passionate about. And that, as you say, that really comes through, I think, in the brand and everything that you guys kind of put out. So how about you, Cindy? Can you tell us a little bit more about Mitek? And I know it's super early or late depending on your tendency over there, but give us the brief on Mitek.
Let me give it a shot. So Mitek, we also known as Mitek Systems, is a global leader in mobile capture and identity verification technologies. And our technologies enable organizations just like Anna to onboard new customers in a completely online and digital environment. And we provide the technologies to enable that to be done in a secure and compliant way, which obviously for many financial institutions that listen into your show, David, is super important, both those things. We work with organizations throughout the globe. Our head office is in San Diego, California, but we have offices across the United States and throughout Europe in some beautiful cities, I might add. London, of course, but also Amsterdam, Barcelona, Paris, and St. Petersburg across the European territories. And we work with about 7,000 organizations globally. And we just, I think the relevance to Anna and what they were saying is that we take the stress away from Anna to make sure that onboarding experience can be done in a fully digital environment. And that the customers are given an experience that is not foreign. So our partnership with Anna and working with their chat, their bot, it allowed customers to just be able to do this in any environment. They can start on their phone and they can end on their PC. They can start on their PC and end on their phone. They can pick it up later, whatever the case may be. So, we pride ourselves on working with our clients to make sure that the end customer can do that from any digital environment.
Well, and as you say, particularly in this time, with everything that's happening with COVID, everybody is remote. Digital is the channel. So actually a lot of organizations are struggling with kind of that navigation. But obviously you guys both are sort of starting there, which is a major kind of selling point, I'd say, in terms of being able to deal with the current environment. But maybe if we start particularly with your own companies, how has it been moving to a kind of a remote working setup? Have you guys kind of found it easy, or has there been some creases there to iron out?
Well, I would say for us, it's. Oh, sorry, Cindy, you go.
You go ahead, Andy.
We need a little green. We need a traffic light system or something like that.
You first, Andy.
No, I'll keep it short and sweet anyway, because the nature of Anna is that we're pretty distributed as a team already. So we're used to working apart. So we really just kind of switched that on. I think the only thing we're really missing is that FaceTime, in our London studio, which is really, it's kind of really important, I think, particularly for design, to be physically in the same place, to have work on the walls, to be able to talk about what you're working on. And we've just, we've just switched everything to Zoom and we use virtual whiteboards for everything anyway. So we're managing.
It's interesting, as you say, with that, where people are finding ways of making remote working more human. It might have been before that things were phone calls. Now everybody's using Zoom and everybody's using Google Hangouts. So perversely, you're looking into each other's eyes and sort of seeing each other a lot more than you would have done when you were remote working. So how about you guys over at Mitek, Cindy? How's the remote working come? Obviously, as a global organization, you're used to having people sort of distributed, but how has it changed?
Yeah, I think, but from a business continuity perspective, by design, we had technology centers and our agent centers in different locations so that we could absolutely guarantee a 24/7 uptime. So the decision really came about working from home, and it didn't feel any different other than the collaboration, right? And so we were super proud to give our customers that uptime, but it was about the fact that we can't see them, right? And so much is about relationships. Actually, we're all just thrown into an acceleration of digital identity verification, and many of our existing customers wanted that collaboration. We wanted a whiteboard and figure out how we're going to deal with the spike in transactions, how we're dealing with the change in transaction spikes up and down. And so we just had to, really take advantage of the technology, as you pointed out, but also go back to the foundations of what we're doing and be grateful for the fact that we could actually do it. Where I was standing in a line 6 feet apart waiting to pay for some groceries, and I was listening to a woman in front of us who was just writhing from the fact that they didn't have the capability to get their staff home. And they were figuring out how to get PCs, and we just kind of put our PCs in the bag and went home, and that was the same for the workforce globally, and we just switched. And so we're really grateful for the fact that we are a cloud first company. At the same time, we've got a lot of customers that weren't necessarily in the same boat as us. So just really sharing best practices and collaborating as best we can with the tools that we have.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was chatting yesterday with Sophie Gibbord, if you didn't catch that show, but we were chatting a little bit about almost the relaxation of business to a certain degree. I mean, I've definitely sort of noticed that because people have got no choice, right? I know it's 50-50 whether one of my kids walk in on this show every morning. But the reality is,
the
it's
BBC
like
moment.
Yeah, everybody's in the same boat, and almost the sort of relaxation a little bit with business, I think is actually a really good thing to do. I've very much resigned myself to wearing shorts for the rest of my life at this stage, so the chance of me, dressing up again is very slim. But I mean, Cindy, have you seen that with some of your clients as well? The sort of informal nature of things are sort of dropping away a little bit.
Absolutely. When I think about engagement, you're starting to see a different side of your clients, and so the relationship takes on a more personal level.
Yeah.
Which I've thoroughly enjoyed. We've got one particular, it's actually one of our partners, and his daughter is 9 months old. And without a doubt, Olivia appears in the screen 50 to 60% of the meeting because she needs to be fed, or she just needs to be entertained, or whatever the case may be. And I think we've all just appreciated getting to know that side of somebody versus just the formal business environment that we were used to. Similar for customers, I think you're feeling engaged as often as you can, and dealing across geographies. We've started to ask ourselves, do we really need that very, very early morning call? Or maybe somebody wants to rather be with children at that time. Should we schedule it for later on when the kids are asleep and we wanted to have a more serious conversation? And so these are down, anything goes.
Yeah.
And I've seen it actually.
Do you know, I think there's one real good sign of all of this stuff that's happened. I'm keeping a handle on my potty mouth as well. Like for knowing kids might be in the room at all times, then all swear words are replaced with "oh my goodness" in my vocabulary right now, which is working out pretty well. It makes me sound really cute as well, I think. But so maybe more on the business side of things then, Sydney. I mean, have you found that actually during this time, as everybody is going, how do we deal with digital? I mean, there must be a bit of an uptick, I would have thought, in terms of business coming and opportunities that maybe you wouldn't have thought about before.
Yeah, so there's both an opportunity as well as, existing customers seeing dramatic spikes or changes in transactional behavior. So take a client like Instacart, for instance, that is in home delivery services. And you can imagine just the massive spikes of both applicants to get groceries delivered as well as drivers to deliver the groceries. And both of those use cases require different levels of identity verification. If you're wanting to get your groceries delivered, chances are you're going to do well, and that the bill, if you are fraudulent, isn't going to be too high. Whereas a driver, you want to make sure that the person that is driving the vehicle and getting the groceries to your home is exactly who they say they are. So the insurance of that person is critical. So there was, of that behavior all the way to hospitality, and we know what happened in that industry. So how are we working with them to make sure that we get them through their humps and that we all come out the other side together? And so that required, pressure on our infrastructure, thrilled with just how we managed to do that. But just getting into war rooms and intimate environments just like this, 3 screens going, what can we do? How can we help? What are the spikes that we're seeing? Can we accommodate those together? Small business loan applications is another area that huge spikes. Working with a partner, Dig Identity in your territory around how do we get unemployment to folks that need it now more than ever, and not have to keep them waiting, and just dealing with that rush of spike was something that required many creative minds to come together and to problem solve at any point in time, any part of the day.
Yeah.
And so that's how we dealt with it. And for the most part, I think our relationships with our existing customers got stronger. And then, dealing on the other side of the spectrum was many organizations were thrust into digitizing their business or digital transformation way before they had planned to. And so this might be something that was 12 months out, 6 months out, and all of a sudden they were forced to deal with it, not really knowing who to turn to. And so it was about making sure that we were there as a consultative partner, making sure that we put out materials and collaboration so that they could figure it out, because they don't know how to do it. This is what you should think of, this is what a workflow should look like, and just really being a thought leader in the space.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fascinating point. Like you say, the things that were optional suddenly are major problems that you've got in the market that you're solving like in real time. So, it has been amazing to see what people have achieved over this period because they really had to. But I mean, Andy, have you seen a kind of an increase in applications from a business accounts perspective as well?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've heard of many people going, now might be the time, given I've got either people who are on furlough who are looking at a side hustle, starting a new organization, or people who are really sort of seeing this as an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually saw quite a rapid increase in new applications. So we've actually in the last few weeks had, I think 50% more applications. And we absolutely put this down to the fact that lockdown is creating this wave of people who have time on their hands. So whether that's people who've been furloughed or people working from home, or in the worst case made redundant, people are reconsidering their work lives. And I think it's a really positive thing. So, obviously it's great for us because hopefully of this wave of people who are thinking about starting a business, those businesses will be successful in the future. But yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to, more time on people's hands, a lack of confidence in the job market. And we're seeing it particularly with the younger audience as well. So 18 to 34 is particularly. So a lot of the new accounts that have been created are actually wholly new businesses, and particularly young people behind those businesses. And we've actually come up with a name for this cohort as well. We've started to call them freelancers.
That's good. I like that.
So we're watching the freelancers at the moment to see whether see how they prosper. It's quite a high percentage of people who we actually ran a survey. We partnered with YouGov to just get some data around this, and the numbers were pretty interesting. It's quite a high percentage of people who are going to make a change after lockdown. And now's the time to start thinking about it. So it's been quite an interesting time for us.
Well, like I say, it's an interesting sort of edging of bets for people there, isn't it? But I mean, for those guys, I mean, I'm sure there's freelancers and the people who are on furlough watching this now then. So what would be, it was a good question actually from Steve Brown over in LinkedIn. So what would be Anna Money's and how would you describe your key differentiator in the market then? This is your 30-second pitch.
30-second pitch.
So what would you say?
I mean, the main thing with Anna is, for a start, I think people love us because it's really, really easy to get set up. And I know that sounds, probably everybody says that. But I would say if you've got a new idea or a plan B or a side hustle, that first material step of getting a business bank card and getting started in the right way, the fact that we make that so easy and so fast, it's very good for people. It gives you that sort of material first step. But I would say that the pitch for Anna is really, as I said at the beginning, is you just kind of get on with doing what you do. You know, you send out invoices, you get paid, you buy things for your business, and Anna really just automates the whole bookkeeping side of things for you. So on top of, you know, having pretty sort of simple, you know, transactional things, we've got a bookkeeping service that works around you. So automatically categorizing transactions, you know, storing all your receipts, all that sort of stuff. But I would say, you know, and again, I mentioned it right at the beginning, the main thing is we have this great customer service. So you've got a team who I would say genuinely have empathy for small business owners. You know, it's not a call center, it's a group of people who understand business and understand the basics of bookkeeping and tax and all of that stuff. So, and these people are on hand. So it's, you know, if you're a bit nervous about starting, then having people who know what they're talking about, being there to help you 24/7 is a great thing.
Completely agree. I mean, I've come across you guys quite a few times. I mean, I'd say like people want to bank with people that they like. And I think you guys have got a great culture. I think you're going about it in really the right way, which is great. So it's great to see it going so well. I
think that's a good point because, you know, I think there's a big case for brands obviously playing a big part because, you know, Anna is a very likable brand. You know, it's fun. You know, it's not a fun subject, but it makes it fun, and that's, you know, that's really important. And I think, you know, momentum is a key thing, but also, you know, having a brand that you like to interact with is, you know, is stands for a lot, actually.
It does. It definitely does. So, I mean, the reason why we got you guys both on a show together is obviously as you mentioned earlier on, Sydney, the connection between Anna Money and Mitek. Could you talk a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, I think, you know, if the onboarding process is very personal for somebody who's starting a business, you can imagine that it's a big step and it's a bold step. And often in today's world, they might be intimidated to speak to somebody, and so they want to figure things out. And so starting in a digital way allows them to engage with that chatbot. And so you just want to enable them to explore as far as they can go in the best possible way. And often when you're acting in that environment, you're exploring, but you might not have the things necessary and you want to go down the road. And so I think what Anna has done really well is just explain to them, hey, if you want to start an application, these are the items that you're going to need. You're going to need a device to take a picture. You're going to need a ID document of some sort to prove that you are who you are. And these are the steps that we're going to take to make sure that that's a good experience for you. So have those things on standby, and really just explaining to them step by step what is required. And they can therefore do it in a digital space without being intimidated by somebody asking them questions that they might not be ready to ask. And from an Anna perspective, just really giving them that sense of peace of mind that they have a partner like Mitek for that environment that is easy for the customer to use, simple for the customer, that meets with their brand, so customizable, but also providing them that guarantee that we can be as secure as you want us to be, and we're going to be compliant. We work with, you know, all of the major banks around the globe, and that helps that we're that enterprise partner for them, and then that gets their customer to feel satisfied that they've picked a brand that they like. And so I think we had a lot of fun working with Anna because it's so real. And the terminology in terms of that workflow and that onboarding and the steps that they enable them to take is still one of our best practices about truly understanding your customer, what do they need, and being there for them. And they liked us because we were customizable, and that, you know, it just worked. It worked really well.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Andy, if you want to kind of unpack that a little bit, because for anybody who doesn't know watching this, I mean, I know you said chatbot, you know, chat integration, but I mean, forever, you know, application forms have been fill in some information, go on to the next page, fill in some form. And actually the way in which you know, people don't interact with people in that way. So you've broken it down a lot more. And obviously, I guess in order to achieve doing that, you've had to look at different options from a technology perspective to even make that possible, right?
Well, one thing I would say is it makes almost everything twice as hard to try and, design a product wholly around conversation. But it's something we believe in and we're really sticking to. So yeah, the onboarding is a conversation. Obviously, if it's all about chat, then it should feel like a conversation. So the fact that Mitek were able to integrate with that and for it to feel so natural, and again, sort of the personality of the brand really coming through. I personally love the fact that you wink to take a selfie when you're taking your ID selfie. But yeah, it's it gives the customer kind of confidence that it's secure, but at the same time, it's a warm welcome. It's friendly. The tone of voice feels very natural, and I think that's really important. Particularly I think in the sort of the finance world, where it's feeling harder and harder to be able to actually talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And actually, we've turned that inside out, and we've made it possible to really access the business. And I think your first experience of that is onboarding, and it really sets the stage. So it's, when I talk to customers, we hear a lot about people, being really happy that we kept our promise. We said that's how it's going to be, and that is how it is. So, it stands for a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of us really starting to see pieces of like truly digital banking. If I'm honest with you, I mean, at 11FS we often say what big organizations have done is just remove the human interface from the customer and just expose the content. So that's essentially why, I mean, you used to have in a branch a man or a woman filling in a form, and all they did was remove the person and put the form online. So actually, to your point, the conversation, the understanding, the sort of human element from that interaction was completely removed. And you guys have done a great job, I think, in a typically more sterile digital environment of creating not only a really human brand, but really human interactions, which is really, really important, I think. So, I mean, Cindy, from your perspective, I guess, in terms of the interaction and the partnership, I mean, what was the sort of impact of that in terms of the because onboarding is, to your point, Andy, in terms of the starting point, if you get that wrong, you can have quite a high abandonment, I guess, in terms of new customers or the impact that has on your business.
Yeah, you've always got to be careful about abandonment, and Anna pointed that out as one of the risks. But I think the result that we managed to achieve was really just the unity of the brand, Anna being real. And so the abandonment rates were well within what we expected. In fact, I think they increased their onboarding numbers 25%, which was the goal.
Yeah.
And it all came to really just representing who they were and Mitek working with them so that we were an extension in them, and explaining to the customer there's so much you can do at that point. We say first impressions count, and they really do. If you're starting online and you want to finish online, then it's got to be smooth and easy. And so Anna knew exactly what they wanted to do, and those goals were put into the project plan. And I think as we become more sophisticated in our technology and Anna becomes more, with the growth of Anna, we're starting a new conversation that says, okay, right, we've got COVID, more people are online, that means more fraud. What can we do to make sure that we're minimizing that while still easing the onboarding process, providing more assurance, providing more security, but not letting the customer who's signing up feel any of that pain, just to feel like they're having an Anna experience.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like you say, in these times more than any, then the bar in terms of what digital is higher than ever. But congratulations, guys, on the partnership and actually the impact of it. 25% reduction in dropout on application. I'm sure everybody at Anna Money was pretty happy with that one in terms of the input that gives you. But like you say, I mean, my personal experience opening the bank account for 11FS, I think it took me like 10 weeks. That does not
I think
start that relationship particularly well.
Our average is so for fully automatic onboarding. So, and this number will increase as in the number of people who are fully automated as we proceed with our partnership. But we're averaging 8 minutes to get fully onboarded, so account open. And yeah, and it's, you know, it is a result of this collaboration that we're kind of constantly fine-tuning and making sure that more of the right customers get through with that sort of speed and ease as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, congratulations on the work that you're both doing. Cindy, thank you so much for getting up so late, or staying up so late. Really appreciate it. Get to bed now. We appreciate your time, but you probably need to get some sleep. But for anybody who wants to know more, maybe starting with you, Andy, where can people learn a little bit more about you and Anna Money?
Well, the best place to start is the website, of course. So Anna Money, Anna.money. Yeah, I mean, if you have a look on there, one of the things we're very proud of as well is our blog. So you'll find the blog on Anna.money, and there's loads of interesting articles. Some of them a bit silly, some of them very serious and useful. So I would suggest probably the best place to go to is The Hustle, which is the name of our blog.
Sounds good. Cindy, where can people learn a little bit more about you and the good work that you're doing at Mitek?
Great, thanks. Well, first of all, a shout out to Andy and his blog, because it really is entertaining, but also super informative. The freelancers blog was the one that got me most recently. It's really great. Mytechsystems.com is our website. Our product is mobile verify, so you can navigate from the technology page. And then I would say go out to the resources page if you wanted to understand how customers, other than Anna Money, are deploying it and working on it. We've got a really great series called the Identity Innovators. It's just short 2-3 minute videos of our customers, not talking about the product, but talking about their experiences, similar to what we've done today. How did they manage to address fraud? How did they manage to address speed? And so that's a really great resource. That's our resources page on mytechsystems.com.
Fantastic. And thank you again for both of you for joining us this morning, this afternoon, this night, wherever you are. Really appreciate your time. All right, guys, that's
Thanks
all
a lot, David.
for you today, unfortunately. If you do want more content from me today, then I'm going to be running a discussion with Silicon Alley and London and Partners later today. It's going to be, I think it's midday BST. What we're going to be doing is getting some of Berlin and some of London's finest fintechs together, discussing resilience in this period, everything that's happening in the fintech banking sector, and actually what are the strengths of our representative cities in terms of actually what are different countries doing for fintech. So if you fancy joining us for that, then there'll be a link posted to my LinkedIn very shortly. But that's all we have for you today. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a great day, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.